There we go. Creativity isn't enough anymore. If you want to thrive, not just survive as a creative, then you have to stop seeing yourself as labor, someone who takes orders, and start seeing yourself as a leader. Today, I share 5 books that will completely change the way that I see myself, my value, my business, and my creative career. And if you're someone who wants to level up so that you can be the best creator possible, then this episode is definitely for you. I'm Shawk23, the creative alchemist, and this is the Shawk23 podcast.
Hi, I'm Shawk23, the creative alchemist. I am a brand and motion designer, and this is the Shawk23 podcast. This is the podcast by creatives for creatives, where I talk with other creatives and business owners who are shaping the future and share real stories about the wins, struggles, and everything in between. In this episode, I'm going to talk about 5 books that I believe every creative should read because they've completely changed the way that I've seen myself, the value that I have as a creative, really helped me in my business, and really helped me to grow in my creative career. But before we dive in, this podcast would not be possible without the wonderful support of Smart Hills Corporate Solutions.
The Shawk23 podcast is proudly sponsored by Smart Hills Corporate Solutions. Smart Hills Corporate Solutions provide IT solutions for corporate businesses and creatives like myself. They provide a wide range of products and services and are certified resellers of software such as Microsoft Office, Adobe Creative Cloud, Wondershare, and more. To find out more, please visit their website on www.smarthills.com.pg. Now back to the show.
And we're back. At number 5, it's How to Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. Nothing is original. Everything is influenced by something else. One of the things that a lot of us creatives struggle with is coming up with original ideas. Sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be original. We kind of stress and kind of get frustrated when we don't come up with original ideas. And sometimes we compare ourselves with other artists and we see the kind of work that they do and we wish we were as creative or as original as them. But the truth is that nothing is truly original. Everything is a reference of something else. Everything is derivative. Everything is influenced by something else. And that's what this book is really about. It teaches us creatives how to steal like artists. One of the quotes from this book is that great artists steal. What does he mean by steal? It means that you don't just steal the style, but you steal the thinking behind that style. A great example of this is learning tutorials online. When we learn from tutorials online, it's given by a very experienced creative. We follow the steps from A to B and we recreate what they're teaching us to create. In the process of us learning how to create that, we learn skills and we learn techniques so that we can then apply them to our own project. It's not about learning the tutorial and then recreating what is in the tutorial and then claiming it is our own. If we do that, then that's actual stealing. That's plagiarism. Plagiarism is claiming someone's work as your own. But stealing like an artist, as according to Austin Kleon, it's by getting inspired by how different artists do the work and the kind of work they own, getting pieces from here and there, using them as reference to create the kind of thing, the kind of art that you want to create in your own way, in your own style, and in your own flavor. A great example of this is music. There's really no truly original music or musical genre. When you listen to it, especially like modern day, there's a lot of sampling. People are taking instrumentals or little verses here and there from other songs that existed from, decades ago. And then they're using it and remixing it to create original sounding songs. Another good thing is like movies. There's so many remakes today and so many things that are inspired by older movies and by so many things that are inspired by books and poems and just different kinds of people. Like, that's what stealing like an artist means. It's just not trying to isolate yourself to come and pressure yourself to come up with really good original ideas. It's really about opening yourself up to experience different kind of arts, different kind of artists. Try to learn from them, not to copy their exact style, but to understand the thinking behind that style so that you can go back and create what you want to create in your own way, in your own style. It's not really stealing, it's kind of gathering inspiration to create what you truly want to create. It's a really great book if you're someone who's struggling to find your voice, struggling to find your identity, your art style, your creative style, your signature. Instead of pressuring yourself to come up with something unique, go out and explore the creative world and get inspired, and then take what you learn and make something that is truly, truly yours and that you can claim. At number 4, it's another book by Austin Kleon, Keep Going. Keep Going is about showing up. It's about being consistent and keep putting out work, especially when you're uninspired, unmotivated, burnt out, overworked, and constantly comparing yourself with other artists and feeling kind of bad about yourself. It's a great book to help you overcome art block and also burnout. It's a book that teaches you how to build better habits so that you can maintain your creative flow. One of the really good ideas that I love about this book is the idea of cycles and seasons, and to recognize and to be aware of when you are creatively at your peak and when you are not, and then build a system and build a routine and build a structure around it so that you can repeat that process every single day. It's a book also about creating a better workflow, creating better processes, designing your environment so that when you are in that environment or when you are in that zone, it's easier for you to be creative, to be in the zone and to get work done. I used to be someone who just did work whenever they felt like it or whenever work was due or work was done. I used to struggle a lot with art block. I used to struggle with being unmotivated. I was uninspired. Until I read a book like this. This book really taught me how to build a proper structure, to recognize that I'm someone who likes to work in the evenings or when it's cold and when it's quiet. So I usually do a lot of my work early in the morning, and to keep showing up at the same time to do the same kind of work at the same time every single day. You see, the thing is that our bodies and our brains love habits. They love systems. They love a routine. The more that we stick to a routine, the easier it is for our brain and our body to function. If we're not working with a schedule or a routine, we're constantly putting our brains and our bodies in a state of chaos. They don't know what to expect, so they're constantly in a state of stress and chaos. Then this book really gives you the tools, the ideas, the systems and the processes, and also the encouragement to keep going when things are hard, when things are chaotic, so that you know when to work and most importantly, when to rest. We're humans, we're not robots, so we shouldn't constantly be pushing ourselves. There is a time and a season to work, to rest, and to play, and this book is a great advocate of that. And it's a great book to help you to build a sustainable business that's going to help you last longer and keep you sane and not crash and burn out. At number 3, it's How to Win Without Pitching Manifesto by Blair Enns. I absolutely love this book. This book has completely changed the way that I approach and I deal with clients and how I promote and I push my services. This book is really about shifting from service provider to strategic expert. It's a book that teaches you to go from someone who is labor, someone who just takes order, to someone who is actually gonna get paid for their thinking, paid and valued for their thinking, to become a strategic thinker. It's one of the books that really helped me to start putting boundaries and start setting standards for my business and not saying and bowing down and saying yes to every client request. One of the frustrating things that I used to go through when I was in the early days of my business was that there are certain companies or certain clients would reach out and they would ask me to kind of audition for them. For example, they'll ask me, hey, we need a logo, but can you come up with some concepts and then show them to us, and then we can decide if we want to work with you. And in this book, Blair Enns says that that's not the way that we should be doing a business. That's not the way that clients should be treating us, because we're going to be giving our thinking away from free, and we should never. One of the main ideas that this book main principles that this book drives home is to never give away your thinking for free. You should never give away conceptual artwork for free. You should never give away your ideas for free. All of that should be paid for by the client. The only thing that you should be giving your client for free is your portfolio of past work, and you should be giving them your profile, past work, case studies of work that you've already done, results that you've already attained, solutions to problems that you've already solved. That is the only freebie that you give to the client. Any kind of work that they ask you to do must be paid for. And this book also teaches you that we will not do work for free. We will be paid for what we work. Another great thing that this book teaches us is to see yourself kind of like a doctor. We do not prescribe before we diagnose. It encourages us as creatives to not just say what does the client want, but why does the client want it? To dig deeper and to ask better questions that expose the root of the problem. If they're asking you to design a package, what is the problem? Is it a sales problem? Are they finding it really hard to sell a product and they need an attractive packaging? Do they have a marketing issue? Is the current packaging not attracting the kind of clients they want to attract? Is there a branding issue? They feel like the current brand is not attracting or appealing to their target audience. What is the main problem? And by learning about the client's problems, you're not only just going to design for them or to create something for them, but you become an actual problem solver and an expert. They come to you not because you do something for them, but because you have something of worth and value that will help them to grow their business, to make more money, to save them more time, or to make their life easier. We as creatives are problem solvers, and we should start positioning ourselves as such. This book is the book on positioning. What is positioning? It is how people perceive you in the market. It's how you are presented and how people perceive you. When it comes to positioning, you want to be better than your competition. You want to be the only choice. Good positioning means that you're the only option, or you compete on value. Bad positioning makes you compete on pricing. You're going to be someone who's constantly trying to be the cheapest, the most affordable, or the fastest. But this book teaches you how to improve your positioning, or so you don't start presenting or advertising yourself as the most affordable, the cheapest, the fastest, whatever, but you're the one that is actually the best fit for them to solve the problem that you need. I highly recommend every creative read this book and get the ideas no matter what you do, because if you're someone who's constantly being bullied by your client, who's giving away things for free, a lot of work for free, or frustrated that you're not getting paid a lot, then this book really teaches you how to better position yourself, to strengthen yourself, and to be seen as an expert in what you do so that clients want to work with you. You're not the cheapest option, you're the best option, or you're the only option. And at number 4, it's A Pocket Full of Dough by Chris Do, the GOAT himself. Chris Do is someone who has really had a huge inspiration and effect on me. He's a great influence in everything. He's someone that I model my entire creative business and creative aspirations after. He is the GOAT, and he wrote this book called A Pocket Full of Gold, which is a simple all-in-one guide on how to become a creative entrepreneur. Chris Do takes the lessons that he's learned from running not one but 2 7-figure businesses and compresses it down into a very simple book that you can read in a day. It's not a big book, it's not a large book. It's one that's beautifully designed, and it gives simple, easy tips on how to be a creative entrepreneur. There's so much I want to say about this, but it's helped me to really model my business and my creative career based on that book. My main takeaway from that book has to be the fact that you have to stop thinking like a creative and start thinking like a business person and an entrepreneur if you really want to thrive. Creativity, passion is not enough. You have to learn business. You have to learn how to price properly, how to write a better offer, and do all of that. And in this book, Pocket Full of Dough, he just shares his wisdoms, and he gives really good foundational knowledge that help you to build a great foundation for your business, and also a roadmap on how to grow and how to become a better creative so that you can do what you love doing and you can make a fortune out of it, a better living out of it. I highly recommend this book, and you can just read it in an afternoon. It's a great book, and it's kind of like a really great resource that you can keep going back and digging in. Yeah, if you're someone who is really aspiring to not just be someone who just does it as a side hustle or as a freelancer, and you really have big dreams and big visions, and you just don't know, or you just don't have a roadmap or a plan or some guidance, then please definitely read A Pocket Full of Dough by Chris Do. It will shift your mindset from just a creative to a business-minded person, a thinker, and an entrepreneur. It is a great book. It is an amazing book, and it's going to help transform your life. And at number 1, it's The Brand Gap by Martin Neumeyer. This book has had the most and the greatest impact on me. This is the book that really transformed how I saw myself. I used to think that I was just a creative. I used to think I was just a designer. I used to think that I was just an artist. I didn't have much value or much to offer to businesses. I thought I was just someone that when they had a great, crazy idea, they would just come to me and I would just design it and that was it. And then I didn't think that I was so valuable to charge more for my services. I didn't know that until I came across this book. The Brand Gap is really about branding, and it teaches creatives about the value that they have in the corporate world, in business, and how they're the perfect people to solve the brand gap. What is the brand gap? The brand gap is the gap between business strategy and creative expression. Creativity is used in marketing and it's also used in branding. The gap that a lot of business people find it hard to solve is that they're logical and they're analytical thinkers. The same goes with marketing. Marketing is quantitative, meaning that there's always data to back it up. But when it comes to branding and brand strategy, that's qualitative. What does that mean is that brand is about how people feel about you and feel about your business. Matthew's definition of branding is really simple. A brand is not a logo. It is not your color palette. It is not your font. It is not your website or your packaging. It is none of that. Brand is a gut feeling. It's the gut feeling that your customers and your clients have towards you. A brand is not what you say it is. A brand is what they say it is. And so brand strategy and branding is all about shaping the perception on how your customers see you and how they relate and connect to you. Brand strategy is emotional. One of the reasons why creatives are great assets when it comes to branding and marketing is because we are very good at creating work that is emotional. If you're a musician, you can create music that touches people, or artwork or videos, whatever it is. Even if you're a writer, we are very gifted at creating work that triggers emotions. And that's a lot of things that businesses desire. One of the greatest goals of every brand and every business is to create brand loyalty. If the customer is loyal to the brand, they'll keep coming back and buying from the brand. A really, really great example of this is Apple. Apple has a great brand, has a really great customer relationship, that there are people who are actual Apple fans. They will buy the latest Apple product no matter what the price is because they're just in love with the product. And that's what Apple does. You can even see through how Apple designs their products and their marketing. It's very aesthetically pleasing and it's very stylish and very creative. And it's one of like the benchmarks of advertising and marketing Apple has really done. And some of the best people to help create that and execute that are creatives. Creatives are the ones who are best suited to help businesses to create that emotional connection with their customers, to create more engagement so customers keep coming, building that relationship with the business, and they have this symbiotic relationship where the business is giving value to the customers and the customers is returning that value with their money, with their loyalty, and it goes on and on and on. It's a really great book for someone who if you're just someone who just thinks that you're a logo designer, you're just a musician, you just design flyers, you just take pictures, you just do things. You don't really see yourself as a valuable asset to brands. This book is the wake-up call that you need. It introduced me to brand strategy, to brand identity design. It really opened my eyes to see how valuable or how much value I can offer, that my art and my creative skills are just not little fun, little hobbies, little things that I do. These are real assets. These can be used to solve real business problems. And by doing so, increase my own value. That value translates into premium services, higher prices, and the more problems that you are able to solve for businesses through your creativity, the more valuable you are, the more that you can position yourself as a premium product, as an expert, and with that comes the reward of charging higher rates and getting better clients. This is a great book that really helps you to really see your own worth and your value as a creative. And it helps you to know that you don't just create a logo. And not only that, it teaches how much value an actual logo is worth. It teaches you how to think bigger and to see how valuable branding is to businesses, and that what am I trying to say? I could go. I think I'm going to have to dedicate an entire episode on just this book alone and really dissecting it. But it's a great book for you to learn if you just think that you're just a designer, or you're someone who's just taking orders, or you want to add more value, or you want to better position yourself in the market, or you want to attract better clients, or you want to attract big corporate clients, but you just don't know, or you want to charge more, but you don't know how to sell, or you don't know how to increase your value. This is a great book to start. The Brand Gap by Martin Neumeyer. After reading that book, I kind of just changed the entire trajectory of my creative career and of my creative journey, and really learning to teach myself to understand the problems that clients have. It's a great book, and I cannot recommend it high enough. In terms of my creative career, it has to be the book that completely changed my mindset and changed how I operate and how I do business and see my worth and my value in the market. And these are the 5 books that have completely transformed the way that I see myself, my value, my business, and my creative career. And if these books have had such a great impact on me, then I know that I'm going to have the same impact or even more on you. I highly recommend them, and you can find them on Kindle, on Amazon, and I read digital books. I download them. They're cheaper, they're more affordable, and more accessible. And that's how I read and I gain a lot of knowledge. If you want me to do more content like this, then let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. If you like my content and find a lot of value from it, please like, subscribe, and follow so I can keep creating more content like this. Let me know in the comment section, what are your favorite books and what books have had the greatest impact on you, whether you're a creative or a business person. I'd love to hear from you. And that's a wrap. This has been another episode of the Shawk23 podcast. Thank you so much for your time. And with that, to all my fellow creatives, dream big, embrace your weird, and remember, all things are possible to those who believe and work hard. I'm Shawk23, the creative alchemist. Haparua.